Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
This is a momentous occasion for inclusion and freedom of religion in Minneapolis. With the stroke of this pen, we and our Muslim community will have the ability to hear the call to prayer in Adhan 5 times a day.
My name is Walid Diria. I'm the Executive Director of Islamic Civic Society of America, Dar Hijra Mosque. Welcome, everybody. Today, we're marking another historical day. This is for the to having the 5 times prayer, call to prayer to Adhan broadcasting. We're discussing today, and the mayor, Jacob Fry, is with us, and the other council members who passed last Thursday. So I'm going to start with the
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ما بعد. لقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. وما يلقاها إلا الذين صبروا وما يلقاها إلا ذو حظ عظيم. وإما ينزغنك من الشيطان نزغ فاستعذ بالله إنه هو السميع العليم. صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum. Magaalada wa Jacob Fry, Duqa magaalada, Minneapolis. Mahat Senate, Imam Roble.
Yes.
Mahat Senate, Wali, Imam Sharif Muhammad.
Yes.
Jelani Hussein.
Yes.
Our city council members, Jeremiah Ellison, Aisha Shugtai, Jamal Osman. Mahat Senate, and it is a great honor to be here because today is indeed an exciting day for our city. Today, Minneapolis officially becomes the very first city in the United States to allow Adhan, all 5 daily prayers, 365 days a year, to be publicly broadcast. I could not be prouder of our city. Our local Muslim leaders, many of whom are with us today, and my colleagues, the council members, who have worked so tirelessly to make sure that this day ultimately became a reality. Minneapolis is proud to be home to a flourishing Muslim population. And this ordinance not only supports our residents, but it shows that we are a city of all religions. We are a city of inclusivity. We are a city where all are indeed welcome. One of the few good things that I saw emerge from the global pandemic of COVID-19 was this pull toward inclusion, making sure that all people from all backgrounds, ethnicities, and religions were able to not just be recognized, but be quite literally heard. When at the height of the pandemic, so many neighborhoods were separated from one another during Ramadan, my team worked with a number of faith leaders and community members to develop an executive order to allow the call to prayer to be broadcast. And today we are taking this a step even further. That is a step even further towards inclusivity and for religious freedom. This is a victory here in Minneapolis, one that should be celebrated. And I truly hope that other cities around Minnesota, around our country, and around the globe choose to take this path as well. Why? Because we value our diverse communities. We value freedom of religion. And in doing so, this call to prayer, adaan, just like church bells or the ringing of the shofar, they are all important to our religions. They can all be heard. Again, today would not be possible without the council members that are seated here beside me, and I want to give especially a big thank you to Councilmember Aisha Shugtai for leading and authoring this ordinance that ultimately received unanimous support from other council members this last session. And so we are so proud of this joyous day. You know, when I first moved out here to the city of Minneapolis, I really didn't have many friends or family, but it was the Muslim community and specifically the East African community that brought me in, embraced me, and made me feel at home. And so this is a great honor that we are able to now take the next step for all Muslims in our city to tell them, regardless of where they're from, that they are at home in Minneapolis. And so with that, I would first like to invite up Councilmember Aisha Shugtai for her incredible work and for her authorship of this ordinance.
Thank you so much, Mayor. My name is Aisha Chugtai, and I represent Ward 10 on the Minneapolis City Council. At last Thursday's council meeting, our city council unanimously approved this amendment to the city's noise ordinance. I'm really grateful to our colleagues on the council for their support, and of course to council members Ellison and Osman for their leadership on this work. Over the last year, I've had the honor of working with a coalition led by CARE Minnesota, the Council on American Islamic Relations, and their executive director, Jailani Hussein. And this coalition included leaders across Minneapolis's very diverse faith community in working on advancing this ordinance. None of this would have been possible without the intersectional faith communities who supported this ordinance, to Mayor Frye's office and the health department, who worked really diligently with the Cedar Riverside community to make this happen back in 2020 through executive order. To our city attorney's office, who worked really closely with me and with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency to make sure that we were following the law. I think I'm especially grateful to our community partners and the elders in our communities who have really been patient and vigilant while we went through the city's process to make this a reality over the last year. This ordinance updates the religious exemption to the city's noise regulations and allows amplified sounds that are associated with religious worship to take place in compliance with existing state law and the Pollution Control Agency's regulations. This change ultimately expands First Amendment protected religious freedom, not just for our Muslim community, but for all faith communities. It also codifies the efforts by the city administration. At the beginning of the pandemic, Mayor Frye worked with this mosque and granted them a permit for amplified sound to allow call to prayer, to allow adhan during the month of Ramadan. This change creates a consistent process and benefits all First Amendment protected religious freedom. And as one of the 3 Muslim members on the city council and the first Muslim woman on the council, I'm really thankful that members of my family and my community can hear the adhan at all 5 times in the day. I think it's even more special for this to be happening during the month of Ramadan, and that this is a change that's benefiting all of our faith communities. Minneapolis is following the lead of Paterson, New Jersey, but we are the first major city to allow this to happen. And like Mayor Frye said, we really hope that other cities in Minnesota and around the country are gonna follow our lead and make these types of changes to expand religious freedom for all. Thank you so much for having me today, and to Mayor Frye, who's going to be approving this ordinance in a few minutes. But Ramadan Mubarak to our community, and early Eid Mubarak to Muslims in Minneapolis. Thank you. And then next we'll have Councilmember Jamal Osman.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening. My name is Jamal Osman. I'm Minneapolis City Council member, Ward 6. Darul Hijra is in the heart of Ward 6. As I don't want to really go back to the history, as Councilmember Aisha Chuktai talked about, and the Mayor Fry, that this work wouldn't be possible without Councilmember Allison, Aisha, and the community members that have worked on. I want to talk about a little bit about the effect it had in the community. 2020, when the mayor signed for allow the mosque only Ramadan, it really brought so many emotions to the people that grew up in a Muslim country, that hear the adhan, and the seniors we have here, the immigrant community that we have here, feel like they were home. This is their home, and for me, myself too, personally, it was something that I had to really appreciate and remember. Also, my children. So, community really appreciate the work, and it shows that as a city, how diverse and beautiful, and we're moving forward, recognizing all religious faiths, no matter where you came from. And as I talk to the imams and the other mosques, they want to be able to really practice their faith the best way they can, and also at the same time being respectful to their neighbors and so on. So I do want to thank again for the council members and the mayor and community leaders who have worked on this. Means a lot to me and to our community, and I'm proud to be a Minneapolis resident. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Jeremiah Ellison, represent Ward 5 in North Minneapolis. I really can't say much more than what my colleagues and the mayor have already said. I think that one thing I want to highlight is just how diverse the Muslim community in Minneapolis is. I think the three of us are pretty much evidence of that, right? 3 different communities, 3 different parts of town. I think we're far enough in age that we're 3 different generations, Gen X. So it really is a diverse community. Cedar Riverside is going to benefit from this change, but North Minneapolis is going to benefit from this change. Lake Street is going to benefit from this change. All over this city, people are going to be allowed to worship in this way. And so I am really proud to be a part of the Muslim caucus here that we now have going on the city council. Really appreciative to Mayor Fry getting ready to sign this bill, and for the executive order that came before it. And yes, I'm just really excited and appreciate being a part of this coalition. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. My name is Imam Sharif Muhammad, Imam of this center, Darul Hijra Mosque, since 1998. Today is a historical day for this mosque, for the Muslim community in Minneapolis, but also for the Muslim community in Minnesota, for the Muslim community in the United States, for the Muslim community in the whole world, to watch and see this taking place inside of a mosque. That's a historical day for all of us, and thank you so much for all of you to come here. I want to thank for the council member here who have been working this since 2020 until we reach the point we are here today. Thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you so much for what you have been done and what you have been doing last few years. Also, I want to thank Mayor Jacob Fry. We call he's our brother. He's our friend. He is a friend of Somali community. He's a friend of Muslim community. He's a friend of East African community. He's a friend for diversity. He's a friend for everyone. Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for that. Because the 2020, when we asked the mayor for do the executive order for 1 month adhan, he didn't hesitate for that one because he understood the importance of that. He understood how that is a unique and also a beneficial for the Muslim community, but also the city of Minneapolis to go in more inclusivity for everyone. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Also, I want to thank for Care and Jailani Hussein And we have been working together this initiative and many for last couple of years. And thank you so much for that. I want to also thank for my brothers and sisters here as you see this table. See, please here. Without them, we are not able to reach this. Therefore, as the mayor said, this one is a coalition work. It's not only for the Muslim faith, but also other faiths who work with us and support us all the way steps. Even 2020, when we asked this one, that Trinity congregation and Pastor Jane, they said, we will work with you guys. We are not leave you alone. And that also shows for this one, it's for everybody. It's not only for the Muslim community, but also for our brothers and sisters for other faiths too. Thank you so much for that. Having said that, I want to call Dr. Abdul Salam to say a few words. Thank you for the media to come also and cover this one. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. May peace and blessings be with you all. My name is Abdi Salam Adam. I'm a board member of Dar al-Hijra Mosque since its inception in 1998. And I would say I'll be one of probably the happiest person here today, because when we started this masjid or this mosque, imagine 1998, this is 25 years ago, everybody. And to just put in perspective, the community is relatively new. The mosque and the adhan and prayer services are integral part of the community. And the first thing that the Muslim community asks for is a place of worship. So we started this location, very humble. It was much smaller than the way it is right now. It started with maybe, it could accommodate maximum of 50 people, I think, at that time. So not knowing that today it will be what it is. So that's, just to put it in perspective. So today, April 17th, 2023, which is corresponding to Ramadan 26, 1444 Hijra calendar, is a historic day. That we are at Dar al-Hijra Mosque, the first Somali-operated mosque in Minneapolis, in the neighborhood of Cedar Riverside, that's well known as the home of immigrants. We do hear about the Norwegians and the Danes and the Hmong community and the Vietnamese community and the Korean communities all passing through this neighborhood. So we are part of that history and that legacy of Minneapolis, and we are proud that the Somali Muslim community is contributing to that journey in a very positive and outward way. So, so this day is really historic in that sense, and already it has been mentioned. It shows also the collaboration, what collaboration means, the community coming together and really advocating for its rights. And probably the most powerful message here is the meaning of identity. We have thousands of Muslim youth who are growing up in the United States. And if they do not see their values, if they do not see their symbols, if they do not see their faith recognized, and they have to be always the other, that does have consequence for upward mobility. It does have consequence for students and children feeling proud and confident of who they are as proud Minnesotans, as proud Americans. So I think the inclusion of the adhan today, all 5 prayers, without exception, and as others have said, we felt still something was missing. I mean, it's a whole package. The adhan is an announcement. That's what the word itself means. So there is a preclusion. So a Muslim person, no matter where you are in the day, no matter what you are doing, what your profession is, now time to stop and connect with God, the Creator. There's a higher purpose in life. It's not just your little engagement that you're involved with at that particular moment. So come to prayer, come to prosperity. So then one is expected to, yes, I'm a creature of God. I'm being called, so I should balance, between life and my spiritual life and my work life and my family life. And so it signals that. So for 22 years, that call was not beyond these 4 walls before the 2020 allowance that came through the mayor pray. And then it continued, and today all 5 times. And I must reassure people who are here in this conference or listening that we've not had anything but positive feedback since the time of the adhan, from the neighbors, from people coming far, whether Muslim or non-Muslim. that all this fear about the adhan causing, disturbing neighbors or causing problems for, non-Muslim neighbors, that did not materialize. Again, the fear of the unknown is what we are really bringing down here today with this clear message. And we're thankful to our neighbors. We will respect if we get feedback and comments. We will work with our neighbors. And I must report to you that Minneapolis has the largest number of mosques, 20 minimum. Mayor Jacob, yes, more than 20 mosques in Minneapolis alone. So it's not surprising that Minneapolis is setting the trend. Other Twin Cities mosques, I think there'll be up to close to 60 mosques, I would say, in the Twin Cities metro. But as a one city, Minneapolis has the most. So again, that makes sense that we started here and we continue leading from front and not from behind. So thank you so much, Mayor. So I just would like to express my thankfulness or gratitude to Mayor Frey, the council members, not the Muslim caucus. And they are not the only ones who did it, I know, because they had to work with their colleagues and convince them. And definitely, it's a collaborative work. I do remember that when this mosque opened and we started voter engagement, and people were questioning, what's the point? I mean, we're so small in numbers, our votes will not count. And I must report to you that Keith Ellison started his campaign in this neighborhood. I do remember knocking the doors. And Jeremiah, remember, he was a young boy at that time. This in 2006, just to put it in perspective. And so did Ilhan Umar also pass through this neighborhood. Her office was the rented space right up here in this building. So I think that's the fruit. We're now reaping the fruits of that foresightedness and that work of involvement matters, representation matters. And so as a community, this energizes us to be more involved and to work for the common good and be part and parcel of the progress and well-being of this community. So we also thank Basim Sabri, who also contributed to remodeling of this building. This building was very different when we moved in here. And Mr. Sabri has a lot of role in that expansion and continues to count it as his second mosque after the Carmel one, which he definitely built. So we're not as fancy as Carmel Mall Mosque, but our location, I think, we can compete at least from that perspective, that we are both at the heart of the community. So thank you to Jailani Hussein, a relentless, tireless young leader. Jailani, by the way, also his family was one of the first Somali families to come to Minnesota as immigrants. Him and his brothers were the first to go to Minneapolis public schools. We have that history. What grade were you in, Jailani? Did you start?
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade, yeah. So again, so that is just history coming back. Everybody, mind what you say, mind what you do. We're a small community. So thank you, everyone. Peace and blessings to all of you, and we look forward to more opportunities from other cities and from other parts of the country.
Thank you.
Have a blessed Eid celebration on Friday or Saturday, whichever it comes. And again, another area that we're struggling with is the Eid celebration for schools and agreeing on the date and all of that. So again, we're a growing community, and we are proud of that. So happy Eid when it comes. We're wrapping up Ramadan. It's intensive, and this is the blessing of Ramadan, I would say, because every action that happened, it happened in Ramadan. It's not by accident. It's a blessed season. So thank you, everyone, and Assalamu alaikum.
I'll greet you all with greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum, and peace be upon you all. I used to joke with Sheikh Abdul Salam that one day I'll look like you. I think I'm starting to look like him a little bit. I want to just, first of all, just ground us by saying that the American Muslim experience is as old as this country. From the first ships that sailed here to the overwhelming African Americans, enslaved African Americans who were, many were Muslims, until today. And we know that our nation was founded on a very strong principles of freedom of religion. But we understand that history tells us that freedom of religion is something we have to fight for, even though our Constitution has granted that. Today is a historic day for our city, for our state, and also our nation. I came here, as Imam mentioned, in 1993, and grew up in this neighborhood and this community. And I met, after we had the first call to prayer, or the first adhan here in 2020, I met a woman who was standing outside, who was an African-American from enslaved families, and shared with me, as she was crying, shared with me that she never believed that there would be a day that she could hear the call to prayer and did not have to leave the country, the United States, to be able to do that. That and many stories like that have inspired us all to be here today. I want to say that, you know, history is important, but it's also the people that make history. And so I want to first start and thank our Councilwoman Aisha Chaktai for taking the lead on this effort, and both of our Muslim City Council members, Jamal Osman and Jeremiah, and also to the entire council. You know, just everybody that I spoke to was not only enthusiastic, but so excited about this opportunity. And as we had that public hearing, you heard not only from the Muslims, from people, all walks of life, all faith traditions, all excited about this opportunity to protect freedom of religion and to make us projected into that. And deeply appreciative to Mayor Fry. In 2020, we found ourselves to create moments of solitude when our elders who predominantly come to this mosque were no longer able to come. This call to prayer echoed from this building to their homes, but it also inspired Muslims all over the world. We started to hearing the call to prayer in Europe, in Canada, and it even inspired Paterson, New Jersey to move forward into that direction. So I'm really happy that we are at this point, and we say from here, from Minneapolis, we say we did it. Now it's an opportunity for other cities across the country to also follow suit. And finally, I'll just say that we have been missing this. Our mosques have been missing this, and our community has been missing this. And the call to prayer is truly the best way to be heard and seen at the same time. And to those people who now may hear about this and wonder, it's a beautiful melody that calls people to peace and calls people to tranquility and calls people to think about the higher things, the most important things. And our nation today needs more prayer for all of us to be able to deal with all of the challenges that we deal with. So with that, I want to just, again, appreciate the residents of the city of Minneapolis, to the entire leadership of our city, and the staff and everybody who played a role into it. And I want to say to the children that are in our community, you can be unapologetically Muslim in this city. Thank you.
Well said. Well said. This is a momentous occasion for inclusion and freedom of religion in Minneapolis. With the stroke of this pen, we and our Muslim community will have the ability to hear the call to prayer in Adhan 5 times a day. But importantly, this is not just about our Muslim community. This is about all of us that have some form of faith or religion. From the church bells to the blow of the shofar to Adhan and the call to prayer. This is about inclusion, peace, and freedom of religion. Assalamu alaikum. And with this, inshallah, it is done.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah, we give everybody a hug. Here we go. There we go. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It has.
Thank you, Mayor.
More work to do, yeah.
We're gonna talk. Don't leave me. We're gonna talk.
Thank you so much.